Hey everyone, I'm Christina and welcome to my first Flosstube video. If you're new to my channel, I normally showcase paper crafting tutorials, but today I'm really excited to share with you my first Flosstube video. Some of my regular followers are probably wondering what Flosstube is. Flosstube is a community that loves to share their stitching projects, from cross-stitching, knitting, quilting, and so on. Mostly here on YouTube, you'll find that the Flosstube community are cross-stitchers. They love to share their cross-stitching projects. I first learned to cross-stitch when I was in my 20s. My mom taught me, and I will admit I only ever completed 2 projects. I mostly dabbled and played around a lot and only ever did these 2 projects, but I do have those projects, so I'm going to share them with you today. You have to promise not to laugh though. I've been wanting to get back into doing cross stitching this year, and late January, after I had done some renovations here in my craft room, I decided that I was going to just work on one project and try it. I wasn't going to jump in and buy a whole bunch of supplies. I was just going to try one thing. So I found a design I really liked on Etsy, downloaded it, and ordered some fabric from Amazon because my local stores had material I wasn't really liking. And then I bought the floss that I needed for my project because I do have some DMC floss for card making, but I didn't have the colors I needed for this particular project. So I did go out and buy some of that, and I started working on it. And I was only a little bit through that project when I realized I'm in love and I need to get ready and start getting my next project planned. So as I was working on that project, I decided what I was going to work on next, did the same thing. I ordered the project and got that ready to go. Today I'm going to share with you 2 FFOs, or fully finished objects as they call it here in the Flosstube community. I also have 2 WIPs, or works in progress, and then I have 2 finished, not fully finished, but 2 finished projects. I'm going to timestamp everything down below in the description of the video if you want to skip around. In the meantime, we're going to flip the camera around and we're going to come over to my tabletop here, and I'm going to show you the projects I did when I was in my 20s and the stuff I have in progress and the 2 things that I did finish this year. So let's take a time warp back to the 1990s, and I'll show you what I made in the 90s when I first learned how to cross stitch. I have 2 fully finished objects that I made when I was in my 20s. One was for my mom, one was for my mother-in-law. And the first one I'm going to show you is the one I made for my mother-in-law. So this one I'm pretty sure is a leisure arts pamphlet, booklet, something like that, that I made for my mother-in-law. I put my name on it, which my real name is Christina, but everybody in my family calls me Tina. So I stitched my name on here and then put the year. And one thing you will see is that this thing is so crooked. I reframed this just about 2 weeks ago because the frame was broken on it and I wanted to have it on display here in my craft room. And to get so that this is straight, my frame is crooked. So it's not the best framing job in the world. That definitely is something that I'm going to need to fix. I think what I'm going to do is probably take it out of the frame, cut it down so it's straight, and then reframe it with a mat or something like that. But yeah, this is one I made in the 90s. I know it's done on Aida cloth and it's done with DMC floss. That's about all I remember from it. So this other one I made for my mom, and this is the largest one I ever did. And home is a patchwork of memories stitched with threads of love. And I thought this was perfect for my mom because my mom loved to sew. We had Barbie outfits. My mother would sew Barbie outfits. She would sew them for her Cabbage Patch Kids. Like, she would just sew everything. And I thought this was perfect. And we used to go to a quilting group at our church when I was younger. Well, my mom went, and occasionally my sister and I would go, and I would try to quilt, and I could see the person that was running it. She was like, you shouldn't be quilting, because they were hand quilting. So, but this is one I did. Again, this is probably a leisure arts project, and I don't know what year it was made. I should probably take it apart and see if on the back of it I wrote what year it was. But my favorite part of this is that 20-something Christina couldn't afford to pay for professional framing to have this framed. So I'm pretty sure I went to AC Moore and bought a picture mat that you would put like an 8.5 by 11 in or something like that. and I cut it to make it work. And I'm finding it hysterical because it's not cut very well because I only had an X-Acto knife. We didn't have the tools in the 90s that we have now. So this is, also, I looked this up. I scanned it and see if I could find out the name of the pattern for it. And I realized there was a section down here. I didn't even do it. There were supposed to be little flowers that came like from the walkway, from the stairs, and it made it like a little walkway. And apparently I just didn't do it. But I'm going to consider this a fully finished project. And I love this, that my mom kept this in her bedroom for many years. And maybe my poor framing job was why she kept it in her bedroom. No, I'm kidding. But I was pretty proud of this. And I just knew that because it was such a weird size that I was never going to be able to get this custom framed. However, I am thinking about getting it custom framed now and having it professionally done. It's got schmutz on it. There's no glass on it. So it got kind of dusty and dirty. And I don't know if I should touch up the dirty spots, the little dusty spots, or if I should just leave it the way it is and frame it and kind of just embrace the fact that it's not perfect. But my mom always had this in her bedroom. So yeah. So those are my FFOs. We're going to now switch over to my just regular finished projects. So finished projects are not FFOs because they're not fully finished objects. These are framed pieces. And what I'm going to show you are my first two things that I started this year and getting back into cross stitching. This is the project I did when I first came back this year, and it's called Be Mine Home by Primrose Cottage. And they have it designed as a little pillow, but I think I'm going to be making mine into a little display board for Valentine's Day. Although I could probably put this out anytime, but the Be Mine is definitely a Valentine's Day thing. So this is what I stitched. It did call for 32 count linen fabric, which is what I used. And it was the first time I've ever used linen fabric. And it's Weichelt? I think it's Weichelt. Weichelt linen, beautiful beige, 32 count. And I like this fabric. It is a little stiff. And the only thing, I ironed this, but I cannot seem to get that crease out. I even sprayed it with a little bit of water, but I'm hoping once it's down on a board, my project that I plan on doing, it will, you won't notice that line very much. So yeah, that's my first project that I did, and I had a lot of fun working on it. And yeah, so this is going to be made into a fully finished object soon. I'm going to be putting this onto a board, and when I do, I'll come back and show you. While I was working on my first project, I needed to get a second project ready, and that's what I did. I ordered another downloadable PDF from Primrose Cottage called Winter Quaker, and they have the cutest Quaker pillows, and I wanted to give this a try. My plan was I was just going to use the same fabric that I had from the first project I did, and then buy floss that was similar in color to this particular one. But if you could see on this one, and it shows up a little bit better here, this project, than it does my own project. But the floss that they used is called Color and Cotton, and it was called Battleship. And I was going to order it, but I was having a hard time finding it. And then I happened to go back onto Primrose's website or Etsy store and found that they have a finishing kit. But here's what I love about this floss. It's variegated. So it goes in from a darker blue to a lighter blue. And I did buy regular DMC floss to make this, but I really wanted to do this with the variegation in the color. And when I went on their Etsy store, I found that they had the kit. Now, I don't have any thread left because I used it to make my project, but it did come with the backing for your pillow, the rickrack, and a piece of felt that we can put on our pillow as well. So you'll see on this one, it has 2023 in the pattern, but I kind of made mine into a 2024, so because that's the year that I did it. And I am super proud of this. I did use another type of material. So when I ordered this, I think this is called, I know it's a 32 count, but I do not remember the name of it. It might be flax. Yeah, it's 32 count Zweigart flax linen material. And it came out beautiful. I was so happy with this. Now, I do have a mistake on here. Do you see where the mistake is? I'll give you a second. Yeah, it's right here. Somehow I ended up going a little too far over, or maybe I didn't go over far enough. I'm pretty sure I went too far over with these and just did a miscount here, but once it's into a pillow, you're probably not going to notice it anyway, so I'm not concerned about it. But this is something that I plan on hopefully this week getting made into a little pillow, which I'm nervous about because I'm not a sewer. So this is going to be interesting. Maybe I'm going to end up becoming a sewer as well. I should say a seamstress, not a sewer. So the next thing we're going to talk about are WIPs, works in progress. I'm going to show you the one I actually have in progress and the one I plan on starting today, which I'm excited about. Actually, I have two that I really want to start, and I'm torn between which one I'm going to go with. So first of all, I want to share with you this awesome little tote bag that my husband gave me for Valentine's Day, and he ordered it on Etsy. I don't know how he found it, but he said it was a cross-stitch bag. So in here, I have two pouches that have my works in progress, or my one work in progress and my other soon-to-be work in progress. And inside the bag, we've got all these little great pockets. So I have pockets on this side. There's a whole bunch of pockets, and then larger pockets on this side. This particular pocket has one of my mini Nerge frames that I can use if I want to use a frame while I'm cross-stitching. Now, when I cross-stitched in my 20s, I always used a frame. I never did it without a frame, but I'm learning how to cross stitch in hand. And the first one that I did, which is with that, the Be Mine project, I did without the frame. And the one I'm working on now, I started with the frame, but then I moved on to just working in hand. In the Winter Quaker, I also did that one in hand as well. So let's get that bag out of the way, and I will show you my projects that I am working on right now. So I have these cute little zip bags. These are bags that I just recently ordered from Altenew, who also is a card making crafting company. And I had ordered bags on Amazon and they were terrible. The zipper broke off. It kept getting stuck. As a matter of fact, I had a hard time getting it opened the last time to get my project out of it. So I ordered these. They came in a set of 3. And then I also ordered another one, but I really like these. And I think I might order some more of these just to have in hand here in my craft room. And just to kind of show you what I keep inside of my craft bag when I'm working on a project, I have a little pair of scissors. Actually, that should be inside my tote bag. So no matter what one I'm working on, I have my scissors handy. Then I have my project, which this one is called Blooming. It's a Tiny Towns by Heart and Hand, and it is so much fun. And I am just a little bit more than halfway. Last night, I started on my other house. Well, last night I finished up the flowers, did my fence, got the cloud in, and then finished up or started the little house. Today, I think I might try to get that whole house finished, and we'll be more than halfway through. On here, I have a needle minder, which is just a little magnet that sticks to your projects, and then you can take your needle and stick your needle on there. I have yet to lose a needle, but now that I said that, I probably just jinxed myself. And it just has a magnet that sticks in the back, and it keeps everything right in place, right there where I need it. And for this one, I'm using 32 count Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim linen. And I'm using the called for threads, which is it calls for Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works. So it has mostly Classic Colorworks, and then it has 2, no, I thought there was 3. Maybe there's just 2. 2 Weeks Dye Works threads, and you can see they're a mess, but I've been having so much fun playing with this, and this is kind of my downstairs project, what I use or what I'm working on when I am sitting downstairs, we're watching TV or whichever. So that goes inside of this bag. I'm going to throw my scissors back in here as well. And then for the next one, I'm considering my upstairs, which would be my craft room project. So if I want to work here in my craft room and work on a cross stitch, I can. And for this one, I am doing the Stitching with the Housewives pattern called Home Sweet Home. So cute. And I love the fact that it's on the tray. And even on the back, they tell you the tray is by Hobby Lobby. And I like that they have that on there. They even have the number on it too. So if I wanted to, I can order this tray, which I probably will go and do that because I doubt my local Hobby Lobby will have it here in stock. But that is what I'm going to start working on. So in here, I started with this 32 count Flax Belfast Zweigart fabric. And I'm not 100% sure. I also started with DMC floss. And I'm not 100% sure. First of all, I'm pretty sure I started on the wrong side. And I'm supposed to start on this side of the fabric, because I guess there's a wrong side and a right side. And I did not pay attention to that. So the wrong side is a little bit rougher. And then the right side is a little smoother. And I definitely did start on the wrong side. So I'm either going to tear this out and start over, because I did say that I was going to start it today. So technically I would start it today. But the other thing is I'm not sure which fabric I want to use. If I'm going to stay with this one, or if I'm going to use this Smoky Mountain, a vintage smoky white 32 count Belfast. So I'm kind of torn on which one I want to do, or which one I want to use. But just to kind of show you, I do keep my fabric on the comic book boards. I cut them in half, and then I have these little fabric clips that I just stick on either end, and then it keeps it in place. And then cutting them in half fits perfectly into my Alex drawers, so I can keep them all kind of sort of like this. And then what I do is I cut off the tag of whatever the item is that I ordered and staple it right to that board. So I am working with that. I'm undecided if I'm going to use the DMC floss, which is what I started with, or if I am going to work with the Classic Colorworks, because I do have one of the colors in Classic Colorworks. I'm not sure. So I do have the colors for the DMC floss. So this one I'm going to figure out today and get that straightened out. And then I also have my an extra needle minder here that has the needle on it that's ready to go for this project. And this one's actually going to just stay here in my craft room. So when I'm ready, which will be today, to start crafting with that one. I'm going to share with you a couple of the patterns that I recently purchased. And I could see why people end up with more than one cross-stitch pattern going at a time, because you just want to get started. That Home Sweet Home one was one that I just purchased, and I thought that would be perfect for just working up here in my craft room, because don't think that I'm going to be diving into fully doing a whole project that often up here in my space. And I thought just, a couple thread colors, simple project, it won't take long for me to do. It'll probably take me a really long time because it's going to be up here, and I don't sit up here very often. But let's dive into my binder and how I'm storing my patterns. This is a binder from Russell and Hazel. I ordered it on Amazon a long time ago. I actually have two of these. I have one that's for my cross stitching, and then the other one is I'm using for my designs for my embroidery machine. In here, I have page protectors, and in there, I did go ahead and stick some cardstock just so that when I'm flipping through on camera, you don't see any patterns that are on the back, but you can see what the project looks like. So I'm going to kind of clip this open, or unclip that open, and we are going to show you a couple of these designs. And I apologize, you're getting a glare. Alexa, turn off switch. Okay, maybe that lighting will help you a little bit better. So this is House on Pear Hill by Blueberry Ridge, and I love that design. And it's one of those ones that I thought I need to work on this one first. When I opened it, was the first one on the package. So that is one of the designs I purchased. And then I also got one that was for Easter, and it's Grandma's Candy Dish, and it's by With a Needle and Thread. It's a Brenda Gervais, I think is how you say it, design, and I love that. And hopefully you can see that. This one I'm probably going to start maybe over the summer, so I'm have it done for the spring, especially if I have a bunch of projects going at one time. And then Primrose Cottage is another one that I told you that I really like their designs. And they came out with this 12-month minis, which has a bunch of little pillows in here that you can make. and you could do a pillow a month. But you can also make it into one full project if you want to. And I'm undecided if I want to do pillows or if I want to do it as one big full project. Maybe I'll start with pillows and then make it do it again maybe years from now as one full project. On the back of that one, I have another one from With Thy Thread and Needle called When Witches Go Riding, and hopefully, let's get that a little closer, you can see that. That is adorable. I'm not one that decorates for Halloween. I do put a few things out with my fall decorations, and I just thought these would be adorable to have on display. When I ordered my blooming tiny towns, I also ordered Valentine's Day because I ordered this as I was finishing up my winter Quaker one and thought maybe I could start this one, but winter Quaker took me a little longer than I expected. So this one will be saved for next Valentine's Day, and that one is that one. So also in here, there's 2 blank spots because that's the projects I just did. And then this one is one I ordered by Annabella. It's a PDF of this one, and it was going to be one I was going to try at first when I first picked up doing cross stitching again. Then in the back is this one, and I really, really, really want to start this one. It's Samplers and Primitives, the Bee Quaker 2. And oh my goodness, I really want to look at those colors in that. I really think this might be one that I start before I finish my tiny towns. I have it all ready to go. I just need to pick out the fabric that I want to use with it, but I have all the thread, and I think that I'm going to work on that one soon. So I hope you enjoyed my first Flosstube video and you didn't laugh too hard at my 1990s full finished projects and how I framed them, and they're crooked, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget I time-stamped everything down below. I will link to as much as I can in the description of the video, and I will see you all in the next Flosstube video. Thanks for watching. Bye.